Hi, friend, and welcome to this series that I'm inviting you to. We are doing the second series, and we are telling ourselves that we are going to blossom despite. My name is Lina, and I welcome you as we journey again. And we are going to look at our lives as children, and we are asking ourselves, what if the pain we feel today, what if it is not about today? What if the fear, the perfection, the loneliness we feel is rooted deep in our childhood bruises? So I'm welcoming you that we're going to explore the childhood bruises that we may have gone through. And these wounds, they are rooted in pain that we felt, and it seemed like rejection. It seemed like abandonment. Maybe we went through shame. And can I tell you something? That those bruises that we went through, they never vanish. They never go away. With time, we leave them out, okay? And we live, how we live and how we love and how we see ourselves is usually determined by these bruises. So this series is about a journey. So we are going to go on a journey, and we are going to go into the quiet places of our childhood, moments becoming lifelong struggles. But hey, remember that your worth is intact. You are not your wounds. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of wholeness and to be truly seen just as you are. Remember this, my friend, that every child is important. And as we are going to be walking, we are going to be looking inside you. So let's walk together through the stories of our lives. We are going to look at truths and begin that sacred journey to healing. And can I tell you that the childhood wounds that we have or we went through, they influence the choices that we make today without even realizing it. Before childhood memories are buried, they form beliefs. And this is how I look at it, that when we go through experiences as children, those experiences are buried in our mind. This is how I look at it. Before the childhood memories are buried deep in our brain, as they sink, they leave like a form in the subconscious mind. And that form contains beliefs. And those beliefs remain like placards. You know placards? And these placards usually have statements that define us. And they are filtered through our experiences, shaping the reactions and our relationships and entire stories. So we find ourselves telling ourselves things like, I'm not enough. We tell ourselves, I don't belong here. People will always go. Such beliefs. So these beliefs are the ones now that keep guiding how we react to everyday living. And so as they shape us, our entire story is created. All right? So this is how we are going to do this. Because I'm a counselor by profession, I have created personalities. And those people will be looking at how are they living out life now? What experiences are they going through? And then we'll be working with each one of them back to their childhood. And they'll be picking an experience they had, which really shaped the person that they became. We'll look at the beliefs that they told themselves. And then we are going to go through the journey of healing, how they got healing, okay? So these are not real people. It's people that I've created, but the experiences are real. The experiences are what we go through every day. And we are going to look at the bruises of our childhood. So welcome to episode 1 of Bruises of Our Childhood. Karibu sana. And our first person that we are going to look at is a girl called Sophia. And this girl is so creative. She's full of ideas. She's so outgoing as she seems, but inside her, she's paralyzed by fear of rejection. And this is the question she keeps asking herself. Every day as she walks to her office and she's passing her colleagues at their desk and they're laughing and they're enjoying their morning, she walks like, in steps, like she feels unwelcome. And she tells herself, what if they laugh at me? What if they laugh? What if they're laughing at me right now? And even though she's so brilliant, her brilliance is hidden beneath fear. And one day, Sophia looked back and she thought about a childhood experience that she went through. And she remembered when she was about 7 and she had gone to the playfield to join her friends. And you know how kids, when they are going to the field, they're jumping and hopping and all excited and just getting to where her friends were playing. And immediately she got there, they were jumping rope. This one girl shouted, "You don't belong to this game. We don't want you in our game." And at that point, Sophia's soul was crushed. And she remembers how she's walked backwards, holding her hands tightly. And she felt so broken and walked away to the edge of the field, and she sat there the whole break time and she was all crying and feeling, oh, what just happened to me? And that moment spoke volumes to her. She felt that, yes, I don't belong. I'm not good enough. I don't belong to these people. And from that day, a silent belief formed in her. You'll never be enough. And you'll never belong. And this really was the place where her fear started. And she carried this invisible wound and this invisible baggage to her adulthood. And can I tell you, those invisible wounds, the wound of rejection doesn't stay in childhood. It shapes how we see ourselves. It shapes how we trust and how even we show up in the world. Rejection feels deeply personal, but often, can I tell you, it reflects that person's insecurity, not ours. The person who rejects us, it's usually reflecting how they are. But the problem is that we take it so personal and we disqualify ourselves. But it's usually about that other person. For example, that girl who dismissed Sophia, I believe it's her insecurities that caused her to dismiss her. It was not Sophia. It didn't define Sophia's worth. But as a child, we take it personal and tell ourselves we are not worthy. We don't belong here. And I want us now to ask ourselves, where did this fear start? This, if I had Sophia in my counseling room, this is what I would explore with her. And I would ask her, where did this fear start? And this is the question I'm asking you, my friend. If you are Sophia or you've had an experience that made you feel rejected, I would ask you to go back to your childhood and ask yourself, where did this start? What is that thing that happened that made you start feeling that you don't belong? Okay? Then once you start experiencing, and I know this is a painful place, we really don't like going back there. But can I tell you, we need to heal. We need to go back so that we can move forward. It's until we go back to those places that our healing starts. So I would tell Sophia, let's look back and see, where did it start? Because even as she would be narrating, I'm imagining she can talk about experiences even later in life. Remember, her belief became, I don't belong. So I'm thinking there may be even experiences in high school where maybe she wanted to join a music group, for example. And she disqualifies herself. She feels, well, I think those girls are better than me. I don't think I belong. And she would disqualify herself. So the question would be, where did it start? Have there been other episodes that have happened in your life that you kept telling yourself, I am not good enough, I don't belong? And if you look deeper, you will find them. The other thing, after you start finding those experiences, is asking yourself or asking ourselves, what are those beliefs that I still hold from those experiences that are not working for me right now? Yeah. What are those beliefs? For example, Sophie is working, but her telling herself that I don't belong, that I'm not good enough, I'm sure it disqualifies her many times, even at her workplace, even maybe when she's relating with her friends, to enjoy moments of friendship, to enjoy good moments with her colleagues, because she would think that maybe if I join them, I may not fit in. And so maybe she chooses to take her tea alone. So the question would be, what are some of the old stories that I am still believing, that you are still believing, that are not working for you? After you identify them, look at those as limitations for your growth and give yourself a counter narrative. Tell yourself the opposite of what you've been telling yourself for all this time, because those are lies. When we tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, who is the standard? Who are we comparing ourselves to? The person who saw that we don't belong, that was their perspective. But does it mean that everywhere in life I'll never be enough? No way. So those, you tell yourself that these are lies. And we find that we tell ourselves, because I'm not achieving this, because I'm not getting to this point, then I am not good enough. No, we don't need to do anything to matter. We just need to show up in the world just as we are. So that the next step would be releasing those lies, releasing those beliefs that no longer serve us. Then we have to remember that healing doesn't mean that you'll not be afraid when opportunities show up. It will. We will feel afraid at times, but we have to tell ourselves, I will show up despite. I'm going to take this next step despite the fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to do something despite the feeling of fear. Okay? So I'll tell Sophia that just show up. If your friends are inviting you, just show up. Qualify yourself. And we have to remember that we have to reclaim our voice. We have to take bold steps, one at a time. And can I tell you, our power is in our control. We have to know that there's so much that we have in control. And I remember I was watching this podcast by Lupita Nyong'o. Some of you may know her. And she was saying that when she started traveling in the West, and most of the time, she would feel like she's not welcome. She remembers how some words that her dad told her, that go. And once you get into a room, choose to make yourself welcome. Don't look for ways that you're not welcome. And she said that shifted how she showed up in places. She would welcome herself. It didn't matter if people did not welcome her. She decided, every time I show up, I welcome myself. I will not look for reasons why I'm not welcome. And she said that's how she started making bold moves in life, even when she would interview in places. And I'll say, before I finish, I'll give this quote by a lady called Eleanor Roosevelt. And she said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Think about that. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. It's us who give people permission to make us feel inferior. It's us who allow people to determine how we feel when we give them room. But nobody can make us feel inferior without our consent. So my friend, as I finish, I'm here to tell you that you and I can start a journey and tell ourselves that we have to rewrite our stories. We don't have to live in fear of rejection. We can choose to take bold moves in life. We can choose to put away the beliefs that are no longer working for us and choose to live and welcome ourselves in places that we have disqualified ourselves in the past. So, Sophia, I'll tell her that she can live, she can laugh, she can be bold as she's working, as she's living out with her friends. And if you're the Sophia out there, I tell you that welcome yourself to places and know that you're worthy. You don't have to do anything to matter. You're enough just as you are. And as I wind up, I love giving a Bible verse. And this is from the book of Psalms chapter 34, verse 18. And it says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted." Are you there and you're broken because of the pain, because of feeling rejected? Imagine God is right there with you and He loves you and He's welcoming you. Remember, God's love is unconditional. He loves us just as we are. That's the best place to start, to allow God heal your heart from rejection and then start embracing wholeness and live out life without that fear. With Him, you can conquer the fear of rejection. So thank you so much for walking with me through this first episode of the Bruises of our childhood. And I believe that this message is for somebody. And I welcome you to my chat box. You can leave a comment if this message has spoken to you. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about our childhood wounds and how we are healing, how this message helped you. And I believe that this is the time to start reclaiming our existence by embracing our stories and not masking anymore, just saying, I want to heal. So I invite you to walk with me in this journey. Thank you so much.